Hey friends, Rob Phoenix, Hexameister here. Hope you're all doing well. Today I'm going to get back in the kitchen and talk about one of my favorite plants, and it's also kind of a favorite of Pennsylvania Dutch culture, is peppermint. So we're in the kitchen. Give me a second. I just want to talk about a few ways that we can use peppermint for its healing purposes. Peppermint is pretty much a digestive aid. In other words, it will help settle an upset stomach. Um, The peppermint also has sort of a calming effect on your esophagus too. So if you have acid reflux, you probably don't want to take peppermint. But peppermint also, the scent helps clear your mind. It helps you to focus. And also the scent is very, first of all, it smells amazing. Um, it will also help kind of refresh a space. So you can take a simple spray bottle, make an infusion of fresh peppermint leaves, which we're going to talk about in a second, and spritz it around the house just to kind of freshen things up a bit with a little, minty scent. In Pennsylvania Dutch country, probably every Pennsylvania Dutch kid grew up eating peppermint leaves from their grandmother's gardens. I mean, we all did. It was just something you ate like after a meal. If your belly was full, you just chewed on peppermint, a peppermint leaf, and it made you feel better. You can actually put fresh peppermint leaves in a salad, and it adds just a nice, fresh kind of minty zing to your salads. Um, but what I want to talk about is uh, using peppermint, not just peppermint, but other fresh herbs, and making them in like some of the easiest ways you can use them for your remedies for your healing. So I'm sorry this is so far away. I have no technology, so just it is what it is. The main thing I want to talk about is the fresh plant itself. It's best to pick peppermint in the morning. That's when it has the most flavor. As the plant sort of dries out in the day and the sun and the warmth, the flavor sort of lessen. So I got this morning before lunch. I came home and it's growing really well in my garden. It's late November, almost Thanksgiving, but it's really flourishing right now. And yeah, the aroma is just incredible. I love peppermint. So generally speaking, you should only pick what you're going to use at the time. But because it is late November, it's pretty much time for me to cut it all back. Uh, I got all of this, and I probably have 5 or 6 times this amount. Have no idea what I'm going to do with it all, but I had it sitting on the counter throughout the day, so I just rinsed it off, and then you can get paper towels and just sort of dry it off. There is a difference between using fresh herbs and dry herbs, which I'll touch on a little bit because fresh herbs, number one, you're going to need more of them, but they're better suited for things like infusions, um, or just directly eating the leaves. Now, when you're using them, you kind of want to just break off the leaf. Like a leaf has a little stem. You can't see it. That's fine. But you want to break off that little stem too. You want to take as much off so you just have the leaf. That's what you're going to get the most flavor. The stems and like the branches and such will have a bitter taste to it, and you don't want that. So first we're going to talk about um, how to use it in medicine. So again, going back to a quick stomach relief is just chew on some of the leaves, and you can swallow them, you can eat them. They're edible and they're delicious. And that will help soothe an upset stomach, especially if you're feeling bloated or whatever, especially after like Thanksgiving dinner and you're like, I ate too much, I want to die. um, have a couple of peppermint leaves. They're really tasty, and that will help ease that. But again, that warning, if you have esophageal reflux disease or tend to get heartburn a lot, maybe skip peppermint altogether. Um, the second best way to use peppermint for um, it has a cooling effect on the body because it is a mint, and it also has a like it'll clear brain fog, I guess you can say. And again, bloating and upset stomachs is to make an infusion. So you do that, simple, boil some cold water in your teapot, and then you're going to put, oops, you're gonna want to put a pretty good handful of leaves. Like I would say maybe 20 to 30 fresh peppermint leaves into your mug. Okay. Remember that you don't want the stems. So, you have 15, 20 leaves, you put them in your mug, you fill that with the boiling hot water, and then cover it, cover your mug with a saucer for about 10 minutes. And that keeps all those essential oils in there and it brews up a really nice cup of tea. And the water should be a nice green color and you should smell that peppermint fragrance. And then just drink it. And as an added bonus, when you're done, you could do a tea leaf reading on your cup. Um, and another good thing, if you like before you do, like I just throw the leaves in as is, especially since they're a little bit wet. But if you want, you can take a couple of leaves and just kind of crunch them up just a bit to help release those essential oils. You can smash them up with a mortar and pestle if you want, but that's not really necessary. Um, Another favorite thing to make is a syrup. Syrups are super easy to make, and they can be added to regular tea. They can be given as like a spoonful for like a home remedy. And what you need for a peppermint syrup, and this is true with all herbs. So whatever herb you have, you want to make a syrup, you need 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of water, 1 cup of fresh herb. So whatever herb you're making a syrup of, it's equal parts water, sugar, herb. Put it in a saucepan and cook it. And just keep cooking it down until it's that nice, thick, sticky syrup consistency. Let it cool, jar it up, put it in the fridge. Keep the leaves in it. The leaves are edible. And for that, you might want to mash the leaves up a little bit just to help release that stuff because that'll come out better in that sugar water if the leaves are a bit broken up and bruised. Um, so fresh herbs are good for that sort of thing, good for consumption, whereas the dried herbs are better for making things like tinctures. A tincture is made by infusing like 100% clear vodka or 100 proof vodka with the power of the dried herb. Dried herbs are more potent, so you need less. So if you're using dried peppermint, you can, instead of using, like 20 to 30 leaves in a cup, you might just need a teaspoon of the dried herb because dried herbs get everything the power of the herb gets like compacted in that dry herb, so you need less. Um, but again, I just think the fresh herb is it's just better to use. And there's just something really powerful about growing it, picking it from the garden when you need it, and then making something right away in your kitchen. And mints are like that. Mints like to be picked early in the morning, like I said, because it preserves their fragrance and their taste. Also, if you see flowers start to form on the peppermint plant, it's time to cut the leaves. It's time to harvest it. And then if you cut your peppermint plant down to about 1 or 2 inches from the ground, you can leave maybe like one little, like on each stem, just leave like a couple of little leaves here and there, because then it will come back better. It'll encourage it to grow. And it's likely it will grow most of the winter. So I'll probably get more. Like I'll cut what I have back in anticipation of freezing weather and such, but more may come. I mean, especially since we don't really get deep freeze here until like January. So you'll see, or we'll see. I tried growing it both in the greenhouse and inside. Oh, and also out on the patio in a pot, and I killed it everywhere. So it grows best for me naturally from the ground. I mean, not naturally, I planted it there, but you know what I'm saying. Um, so peppermint, fantastic. Pennsylvania Dutch culture, we have something called buttermint candies. Buttermint candies are made literally with butter and a couple other ingredients, sugar, of course, and peppermint extract. But you can make the extract yourself, or you can just use a syrup. You know, you can use the fresh peppermint leaves if you want and crunch them all up. Buttermint candies are those things. They have them in every restaurant, like family restaurant in Pennsylvania. They're like those mints that are almost like a chalky substance. Um, they're just like a yellowish off-white mint and they taste like peppermint. Another thing we're known for here in Pennsylvania is the York peppermint patty. York peppermint patties originated here in York, just down the road in York, Pennsylvania, and it's pretty much dark chocolate surrounding coconut and peppermint extract. Um, and then Hershey bought out York and started making them, and now they're made in Mexico, which is unfortunate. But anyway, they started here. So yeah, peppermint is it's one of my favorites to grow because if you leave it alone and let it grow more naturally out in the garden and stop trying to control it in pots and stuff, you're going to be really happy with what you get. And it smells incredible. You can just simmer it on the stove if you want, just to get a nice fragrance. You can dry it. Drying herbs is it's a little tricky. There's ways to do it in the microwave. There's ways to do it on like certain types of cloth or on drying screens. I have a dehydrator, um, or you can hang them in bunches, which I'll probably do with some of this, just hang them because I have a wire going across that I can hang them from in here. Uh, but drying them is nice. And once they're like crunchy and fall apart in your hands, then they're ready to be put in jars. Working with like doing tinctures or jarring fresh herbs is not a good idea because they retain moisture and can mold. I was talking with some friends today about the folklore or magical uses of peppermint, and my friend Sean said that he uses them because they are associated with the planet Jupiter, which we know is like expansion and wealth and, expanding upon what you have. And he uses them in some way, shape, or form for that kind of folk magic. Personally, I've not used it for that, but I have read where you can take some of the fresh leaves and rub them in your hands, and then your hands get that nice sticky pepperminty feeling, but that in the scent, and then before you gamble. So now your hands are kind of blessed with the power of peppermint. So that's just some fun stuff about peppermint. But the moral of this story is that I don't want you to feel discouraged by herbalism and home remedies because it's super easy. You just get your fresh herb and make some infusions with it, or make a syrup. Like I said, syrup are easy. It's whatever you're making it, it's equal parts herb, water, and sugar. I just like to use 1 cup. 1 cup of water, 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of fresh herb, just the leaves. You don't want the stems because that's where bitterness is. Boil it all down until it's a syrup, and then you have an herbal syrup. Um, your infusions can be drunk hot, or you can let them cool down and put them in a spritzer bottle. Or once it's like still kind of warm, but not boiling, you can use it as a face wash and it works as a skin toner. Mint, I mean, it's fantastic. So yeah, all the mints pretty much share the same thing, but I just love peppermint because just the way it looks when it grows, and I don't know, I just kind of like peppermint more so than the others. But that's it. Hopefully this was helpful. Sorry if you can hear the dogs bark. And God bless you guys. Love you, and we'll talk again really soon. Relax. Have a good night.